Happy VA Wednesday. Today we're going to be talking about what condition does the property need to be in to go VA. Now, if you're new to the channel, if you're not, I'm a lender licensed in 48 states. My team's actually in 50 states. For the last 2 years, we've been the #1 purchase team for VA loans in America. So why does that matter? Simple, guys. I see it all. We see it all. So if someone's telling you about what condition a house should be in for a VA mortgage, there's no one more experienced to tell you what condition a house should be in and how to close it, because that's what we do, okay? I wanted to do this video because there's so much nonsense in the industry about the condition a house needs to be in for VA. You know, we still have the myth of the VA inspector. VA doesn't send out an inspector. You need to get a home inspection because VA is not inspecting anything. The appraiser, when they go through the house, they look for health and safety issues. So a health and safety issue is a cracked foundation. Now look, should you buy a house with a cracked foundation? No. Would I finance that as a conventional mortgage lender? Because I also do conventional loans. No, I wouldn't. Absolutely not. It's a problem for any loan type. It's a health and safety issue, right? But for some reason, people have in their head that VA appraisers are nitpicky. It's generally lack of experience. It's that simple. And it's like, can we really fault them? No. I mean, look, guys, unless a real estate agent is in a really VA heavy area, they've probably only seen one in the last 5 years, or they've never seen one and they are looking to a mentor to tell them about their experience, and maybe their mentor only saw one in the last 20 years. So they just don't know. And sometimes people go, well, they should. Guys, 90% of loan officers don't know. So I think it's a problem throughout the industry. So instead of throwing stones at people for not knowing, I'm like, let's just do a video and talk about it. Okay. Does the house have to be perfect? No. It just has to be like conventional and FHA, same thing, average or better condition. So if, for instance, you have a bedroom and it has no flooring, is that a problem? Yes, for all 3 loans. Is there a solution? Sure, put in flooring before close. Either negotiate for the seller to put in flooring before close, or negotiate with the seller for you to put in flooring before close. With most problems, there's always a solution. That's what you need to know up front. And I don't think many people approach buying a house like that. Maybe it's because I grew up in the business during the foreclosure era where everything was a mess and there was always work that had to be done prior to close. But there's always a solution. You just have to be solution focused. So look, the other thing I'll hear is, well, the house is really old, so the agent doesn't think it will go VA. Guys, I've financed houses from the 1800s with VA. As long as the house is in average or better condition, we're good. Now look, if the whole house is covered in peeling paint that is laced with lead, do I have a problem? Yes, it's a health and safety issue. But I have the same problem with conventional and FHA. There's this weird belief that with conventional loans, there's never any conditions. It's not true. The only time you're going to get away from a house with peeling paint is if you're doing a large enough down payment with a conventional mortgage where there's no appraisal required. That's not something we see every day, okay? So look, VA or FHA or conventional with an appraisal versus something with no appraisal, do they have a better chance of closing a house that's in hideous repair? Yes, okay? Everything else, if we need an appraisal, let's say it together, the house has to be in average or better condition. The next thing I'll hear is, well, the VA appraisers around here are real picky. Okay, so if you have a picky VA appraiser, no problem. So what most people don't know, and I'll be honest guys, I didn't even know about this until within the last 10 years. So the veteran, let's say that you have something that's like nickel dime nonsense. It's like the walls are scuffed. Who cares, right? You write a little letter that says, hey, you know, to whom it may concern, I'm looking at buying this house. The appraiser noted these following things. I'm okay with them. They don't present a health and safety. I would like to proceed as is. We send it to VA and VA goes, okay, they're fine. Guys, they're fine. They're super reasonable. It doesn't take 2 weeks. It doesn't take 3 weeks. It doesn't take a year to get it back. It's really easy. But most lenders don't know that you can go directly to VA. They're trying to argue with the appraiser over condition, and it's like, don't even waste your time. We're just going to go to them, and they're going to go, yeah, we don't care about that. Okay? They care about health and safety. So look, what's a health and safety? The house doesn't have a stove. That's for conventional and FHA too, guys. And the house having a stove, well, why is that a health and safety? The house has to be habitable. And in order for a house to be considered habitable and a kitchen to be considered average or better, it needs a stove, right? Because what house in average condition doesn't have a stove? That's not normal. That's not average, okay? So here's the thing. Would I or am I ever worried about a house going VA? No. No. Like, not if it's a normal house. No. I have had clients where they're like, Jen, the real estate agent said this wouldn't go VA. Whenever a client tells me that, I want to look, like, show me. And I had one recently where I was like, you can't finance that at all. You know, the house was falling apart. And he's like, well, it's in bad condition, but I can repair it. That's a construction loan, right? And that's going to be the thing. If it's something that we can't do VA, right? If I'm like, oh, this is like rough, like there's mold growing on the walls. Like, if I can't do it, either you shouldn't be buying it, right? Because like, I'm telling you right now, black mold in the walls, you're going to have to gut the entire house. Can you afford that, right? Either you shouldn't be buying it or you need to look at a construction loan. It's that simple. So look, if you have a real estate agent that's trying to push you into another loan saying, oh, it won't go VA, it won't go VA, just call us and be like, hey, this is what I'm hearing, and we'll look at it. And I'll be like, yeah, no, here's what could come up. Here's how you could fix it. You know, you need people that at least will listen to an educated lender and go, okay, got it, or who can problem solve. You don't want someone who just keeps on saying nothing will go VA because they don't know what they're doing. So I hope this video was helpful, but look, seriously, truly, I don't see VA appraisers shut down houses and make it impossible to close. The only time I see a VA appraiser shut down a house, I look at the appraisal and I go, oh my God, I wish I had seen pictures before this moved forward, right? That's it, because it's not financeable. So questions, comments, as always, reach out, 786-933-2077. Of course, my team and I want to be your lender. Check out our Google reviews. We really do care. We waive our lender fee on VA loans. We're no BS, and we know how to get to the finish line while still protecting you. Thanks for watching.